Stephen mentioned, and also Madam Rahar, you also mentioned the kind of how long we spend, online, So I want you to, maybe take out your phone, if your phone is accessible, go to the settings and look at screen time, okay, to then have a sense of how long last week on average your screen time is that you spend online on your phone. And so the average Singaporean a week will spend 3 hours and 38 minutes on their phone. And actually a day, okay, like a day out of an average of a week, 3 hours and 38 minutes. So if yours is higher, that means that you don't really have a balanced use of technology, right? So this is one way to think about digital well-being, balanced use of technology in relation to time spent. I can see mumblings over there, very, very high, but those of us in NUS, we use our phone to approve many, many things, right? So it's with that all the time. So today we want to talk about this balanced use of technology, but we want to talk about this and more, okay? How then do we properly assess the state of digital well-being? So digital well-being has become really a buzzword in recent times. Accelerated adoption of technology, increase in online time spent, rise of misinformation, rise of polarization, a lot of chaos generated by generative AI, okay, especially to vulnerable groups. So it's really harming people's digital well-being online. So, this is so much really important. So we want to think of it as this kind of concept that starts with how do we measure the quality of your balanced use of technology, right? And the background to that, okay, so ours is like an indicator framework. Indicators are high level kind of guide in a way. But at the end of it, later my colleague Natalie will present and get us to kind of do the framework. It's actually like a survey with 48 questions that you can just do for self-assessment, right? But no one actually in the world has used the term digital well-being. And some of them in Europe, they use the term digital competency, and the global one, there's a digital quality of life, but it really focuses on kind of like digital just infrastructure. Ours is very holistic, right? So that's all these, some of these frameworks, they are quite limited theoretically, vocabulary, operationally, and a lot of them tends to focus on just the technical skills, literacy. And then most of these frameworks are also based on Western societies. So ours then is more holistic, of course, tested here, so very Asia-focused, but also aligned with global standards, right? So we want to create a whole different way, a new paradigm, okay, of thinking about digital well-being that is more than just literacy, more than just skills. So the key theoretical driver is digital citizenship, which I'll explain in a while. And our standard, our framework is globally aligned with the IEEE. So it's universal, anybody can use. And now currently we have researchers in Europe, in China, all using our survey right now. And at the end of today, we will also present our collection, our survey collected from 4 cities across the world. So how do we define digital well-being? Okay, firstly, it's about a healthy relationship with technology, that we can use it in a balanced and civic way, right? And then secondly, it's really about being able to identify the positive and negative impacts of engaging with technology. And then finally, it's also having the competency, the self-awareness to be able to manage and control factors that contribute to digital well-being. So why is this way important? For all sorts of reasons, we want to say, and we have these 5 domains of digital life, right? It's important to the way we conduct interpersonal relationships, social relations. It's important to the way we think about health. It's important to the way we think about online consumption. It's important to the way we think about employment, and it's important to the way we think about civic participation. So Social relations, how we communicate with each other. How do we, lessen conflict online? How do we be online, make friends, and have social connection? How do we enhance our open-mindedness and embrace diversity? Those things are very important for conviviality on the internet, right? At the level of health, right? Apart from balanced use of technology, it's also about how we use technology to enhance our physical and mental health. It's also about our ability to be able to use e-health services in order to improve our lives, right? And then at the level of digital consumption, it's really about how to shop online safely so you don't fall victim to scams, right? And then you know how to use e-commerce platforms, how you make digital transactions safely, how to protect your own financial and personal data. Consumption is really, really important. And then at the level of employment, it's really about us having the digital competencies in order to do our work, improve our work, to upskill and reskill. And yesterday, Singapore released this new kind of guideline for flexi work, right? So it's about knowing that we are able to access tools in order to do the work that we do wherever we are, right? To also be able to know the impact of generative AI on our work as well. And then for civic participation, really important for being an engaged citizen. How do we become an engaged citizen online? How do we participate? How do we promote social causes? How do we bring people in to promote social causes to enhance community-driven initiatives and social impact? So all these domains, these 5 domains, they are central to our everyday life, and they are central and front and center of digital well-being, right? So how is our framework different? Okay, so the key theoretical driver here is, when people talk about digital well-being, like I get you to see your screen time on the phone, right? It's about interface design, how platforms like the phone, the iPhone, put in the design so that you can, check your screen time, right? So UX design, okay, user interface design, that's one way to think about it. So we want to move from user interface design to a user-centric perspective. And that's where citizenship comes in, right? If you think about citizenship, 4 ways to think about it. Political citizenship means what? Ability to vote. Social citizenship means what? Being a member of society. Economic citizenship means what? Being able to work, right? Cultural citizenship means what? That your culture and your cultural traits are represented, right? So if you think of all these 4 ways of thinking about citizenship, digital citizenship are all these things that people do online, okay? And then it's not just things they do online. It's about how all these activities online also empower them offline, okay? So that's the kind of way of thinking about digital citizenship from UX to user-centric, right? The holistic way to be able to think and act proactively and responsibly using technology fairly and ethically. So our digital citizenship, our framework, right, has 3 levels. Okay, digital citizenship at the level of skills, technical skills. So most of the existing frameworks, they just only focus on skills. Then after that, but we want to say it's more, right? When you have skills, what do you feel? You feel empowered, okay? How do you use the skills to achieve your life goals, okay? And then after that, when you feel empowered, how do you assert your right as a citizen? How do you even show your responsibility as a citizen, right? So rights and responsibilities are also a key part of digital citizenship as well. So let me give you a quick run through of our framework. So just look at the colorful boxes, okay? So we have digital citizenship, we have 15 indicators, okay? And across the 5 domains of everyday life that we talk about. And I will go through that in detail, but suffice to say, I'm confident to say this is the world's first, kind of holistic kind of framework that is not just theoretically, academically robust, but also very practical. And how, at the end of the day, just do the assessment, go back to your organizations, agencies, work with your clients, your cohort, and get everybody to do it. Like, so we're going to start this kind of living well digitally kind of a movement, right? So, and I think, Madam Rahayu and Dr. Park already talked about how we've been developing this. Every literature review out there we've reviewed, we've consulted expert groups all over the world, academics, as well as many of you, government agency experts in Singapore. We've also conducted pilot tests with 1,200 students and adults. And then when we developed our survey, we tested it many, many times, factor analysis, reliability analysis. So it is absolutely robust at this point, right? The kind of the framework and the survey. So three verticals: digital citizenship, skills, empowerment, rights and responsibility, across 5 domains of everyday life, right? So there's 5 domains. I won't go through all this in detail, but at the level of skills, you have indicators: interpersonal communication, health literacy, user literacy, practical skills, civic literacy. And then at the level of empowerment, it's really about empowering yourself, engaging community, social cohesion. And then at the level of rights and responsibilities, about asserting your rights and responsibility as an active citizen, right? And then the 5 domains I've talked about. So let me just go through a little bit more in detail. Digital social relations, our first domain. It really means the ability to build and maintain relationships with friends and family, right? And the 3 indicators I've talked about already: interpersonal communication, social cohesion, and right and responsibility for online safety. This is so important to protect ourselves, from, kind of harmful content, safeguard ourselves and our children from cyberbullying, safeguard ourselves from technology-assisted sexual violence, empower vulnerable groups like seniors to be able to use technology in order to stay socially connected, right? So these are all the definition. You don't have to kind of worry too much about that. And then each indicator, so 15 indicators, each one has about 3 questions, right? So under interpersonal communication, we have questions like, I know how to communicate with others in digital environment. Then the next level, empowerment, cohesion, I make new friendships with other people online. And then rights and responsibility, I have the right to be protected by the law from online harm. So the scaffold works like that, right? Then at the level of digital health, the second domain, the same kinds of logic applies in the sequencing. So it means, digital health means to be aware, okay, of your physical and psychological health and well-being while using technology, right? First, you need to know how to improve your health using technology. Then after that, you also need to know how to promote this digital use to ensure healthy outcomes for others around you, your family members and your friends. Then after that, you want the right and responsibility means you have the right to be able to access public health services online in order to pursue your own self-care goals, right? So I don't need to say how important all these will be for us in terms of, preventing us from online harms, but also allowing us to be able to access good health information, right? And then the questions, very simple. Literacy level, right? Skills level, I know where and how to find helpful health resources on the internet. Then at the well-being level, community well-being level, right? This one is really good. I share health information online to give useful information to people I know. So we're always passing on good health information on the WhatsApp, right? And then right to digital health. It means I have the right to be provided with digital tools in order to support a healthy lifestyle. So very simple, kinds of question. Then the third domain at the level of consumption. And consumption means the ability to access, make informed choices, and understand the rights and responsibility of digital consumption. So user literacy level, you know how to use the internet in order to buy things, okay? Then the second level on digital consumption competence, right? You know how to help other consumers by sharing information on what is good product and what is bad product. Then at the level of right and responsibility, you know your rights and responsibility, and you know how to report scams, right? Very important here, okay? And then the kinds of questions, very simple again, right? Skills level, I am able to recognize and evaluate marketing and advertising online. You know, a lot of people, we fall victims to scams, yeah? You know, digital consumption competence, the next level, right? I'm able to share knowledge and information with other consumers on social media and digital platform. And then rights and responsibility, right? You know, I have the right to go to consumer protection authorities in order to ask them to assist me in solving problems with an online vendor, right? So this is about, you know, getting recourse if you're a victim of online scams. So all these things are very, very important, especially now. Every day in the newspaper, we just read the number of people falling victim to scams at the level of consumption. So employment, so important. How do we use digital tools in order to improve our work careers, right? And at the level of, you know, kind of skills, you want to measure, you know, how we can have the ability to develop kind of competencies, digital competencies, in order to achieve your work goals, right? Then at the level of empowerment is, how can we be part of this digital, you know, work ecosystem, okay, and be part of the innovative workforce? So important for us as a smart nation, right? And then at the level of rights and responsibility, like I said before, so important, especially now with flexi work, telework, and all of that, you know, how do we really have the right, okay, to have access to all these tools, right? To learn these tools, to have access to these tools, to have labor employment security if we want to have telework or flexi work, you know, to be able to have recourse to all of that. So this is at the level of employment, right? And then we ask very simple questions. I know how to use digital skills to make my work more efficient. And then at the level of innovation, I know how to use the internet to make my work more creative, okay? Then at the level of right to digital employment, right, really, you know, I have the right to not be discriminated as a digital worker. I think yesterday's guidelines already give us quite a lot of protection already, right? Okay, so, and finally, civic participation, right? Civic participation is really very important because it is a measure of us as an engaged citizenry in Singapore. And our ability to be able to lead and participate in cause-oriented groups and activities so that we can, you know, make meaningful changes in our society. So digital civic literacy is really, you know, the way we want to be able to keep ourselves informed of political issues on the internet. Then community building, the second level, empowerment, right, is whether we can belong to online groups in order to assert these social causes. And then finally, at the level of rights and responsibility, that we have the right to be able to receive or you know, impart this kind of information in such a way, okay, that does not cause harm to other people. Very, very important, right? So all that, you know, so important for us, like I said, to be an engaged citizen in this way. Questions, okay, very simple. I keep myself informed of current political and social users on the internet. Then community building. I work with others online to solve social, national, or global issues. Then rights and responsibility, right? I have the right to access platforms in order to engage in online debates and discussion for various causes. So, okay, so what I've done now, I just want to just summarize what I've done is to really just give you a sense of the framework, the innovation of our framework that is driven by digital citizenship, the user-centric perspective, 15 indicators across 5 domains of digital life. So now we want to operationalize it. Natalie's going to operationalize it and do a demo. Then all of you can do your well-being score, right? You know, then we can start to compare.